All right, guys. Good evening, everyone. Happy Sunday evening. My name is Carlos Garcia, founder and CEO of Gar Capital. It is Sunday evening, April 7th, 2024. About 5 minutes until 9 p.m., getting you ready for your week. We're going to recap the past week and see what we got coming up. Glad to be with you. It is the stock market. Market is open in terms of futures. Dow futures are up 11 points, pulled back a little bit from the highs. I think we were as high as 100 points on the Dow. Nasdaq futures are red. S&P futures are red again, but both are flat. Russell as well as flat. Crude oil pulling back. Looks like Middle East tensions are kind of subsiding. Talk about the Iranian retaliatory strike against Israel due to the Gaza conflict. Nothing happened, according, I guess, to the news. I didn't read anything about any attacks. So looks like oil is pulling back from those highs that we just recently had of around 87.65. Does this make me too concerned for any oil position or energy stocks that I have long? XLE, we signaled that out this week. So again, this will be kind of a pivot to the past week we just had. We were long energy. XLE, we caught twice this past week. One is a freebie and one is a signal. The freebie hit as high as, I believe, 118%, while the signal that we had hit 40%. Some the traders took it, so well done to them. It's a longer dated expiry, but that's where we are currently. So again, I want to see this price action overnight and see if this does kind of bounce back here. We're heading back to the retest of the resistance that we broke out of right around 85.60 or so. We're pulling back there. This could be a wick, or again, maybe retest the zone here around 84.61, which is right around, I want to say, well, not even the lows of the month is 83.76 or so. So we'll see if we retap that there or see if, you know, if there's any kind of support coming up. As far as I can see on the daily, the next support, if we continue this breakdown, is right around $82.52 a barrel. That would bring back energy prices, possibly. But again, we are now at a golden cross on crude oil. So I think you stay long energy. I think we start talking about $90 to $93 a barrel in oil as we get into the summer driving season. We were just finally getting into spring. Summer is right around the corner. I mean, can't believe it's April. So that's where we are in crude oil. So let's pivot to the week that we just had. I'm going to go and bring up our Discord server. If you're looking at the bottom of your screen, there's a ticker. That is to join our Discord server. That'll get you access to the live market blog. Just go to our website, www.gar.capital, to get access. It's free for all. A lot of people always ask me, do you have any free trials? We do have the live market blog, and that's where you get your freebies. They're all here. So make sure to join in our community. Let's take a look at the signals that we had. Freeport McMoran Copper, 40% return. Well done. Those are the June 21.55 calls. I really like that we're buying longer dates expiry. The problem is that the premiums don't move as quick. So you got to be a little more patient for me. But can't argue the results here. Yes, we still have trades open. Of course we do. But Freeport, XLE, and Amazon were all closed signals. We also did the freebie on Energy XLE, the April 26, 97.5 calls. That went in the money. I still like Energy long. I'm still holding my XLE, but again, it's important, guys, that I have to signal these type of trades to close because not everyone trades the same. There's some out there that are working regular jobs. There's some that are doing this from home as a student or working from home. Who knows? The idea is to make things as easy as possible. Get your money and just move on. If you want to hold it for longer, that is completely up to you. Totally cool with me. But again, guys, these are just signals. It's not fund managing. Completely different ballgame. But signals you will take how you like. You close when you like, whenever you feel comfortable. 40% rule is just there. Really, rule of thumb. If you want to just take it, that's great. If you're someone that just wants to hold on to it forever or as long till expiry, that's totally cool too. Again, they're just signals. So kind of set your expectations. If you just like the 40% rule and leave a runner, totally fine with me. Again, you work it how you want to work it. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to DM me or tag me on the server. I'll be more than happy to help you out. So Freeport, XLE, and Amazon, well done. Um, I mean, so many great numbers out of this. We're now 19 in a row, not counting the two freebies, the DAL and XLE calls, Delta Airlines, and then the energy calls that we had on Monday. 3 for 3 week. That's 6 consecutive weeks undefeated. Easter week was 0 for 0, mind you. We didn't close anything. We have not had a losing trade since February 23rd. Losing trade booked due to expiry or what have you. So, um, unbelievable ride. We just have to keep it going. We do have trades open, mind you. VLO being one of them. Tomorrow when I do the pre-market plan for everybody on the premium signals and masterclass, I do have it here on the watch list and charts channel. I'll update you guys if energy is down, where VLO is. I will always up to date, keep you guys up to date on XLE as well, on any runners that we may have. I just didn't track the free because I took it at that end. I took my profits, but next week is a full week. We do have some things going on. So let's take a look at what is going on this coming up week. We do have earnings coming back. We have Delta Airlines on Wednesday. And we also have some banks, JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, and Citi. So we'll take a look at that here at the charts. We also have CPI on Wednesday. So Monday and Tuesday, nothing really important on the docket. We have FOMC meeting minutes. We have a 10-year bond auction. I think that's going to be pretty important. CPI numbers, again, energy has been spiking up. So I expect a little hotter than expected CPI, to be honest. I don't know if that will change anything in regards to cutting interest rates. That's really what the market is concerned about. The question is when. And, like Goldman, Morgan Stanley, Citi are all saying June. A lot of traders are saying possibly, September, possibly October, fourth quarter, maybe no cuts at all. Who knows? Depends on the data. And that's what we do every day is look at the data. So now we have to take that information and trade it. So here we are. Crude oil, again, we brought that up. So let's bring up the S&P 500. S&P 500. Nice pop up from the non-farm payroll report. We had a great report, 303,000 jobs added, better than expected. As you know, more people are working, means more people are spending. That means inflation goes up. So the CPI number with this strong labor market, how long can we hold, falling inflation? We're not at deflation yet, but falling inflation. We still haven't hit that core target that the Fed wants to hit. But as Powell already said, he wants to cut a couple of times this year. Obviously, if inflation spikes up due to energy, that might change things. But now we're really kind of dicing, in terms of our predictions. So we just have to take it a day at a time as of right now. In terms of the S&P, nothing has really broken. If we go to the daily chart, you can see we're still holding the 20-day, and it'd be very important for us to hold that. If not, then 51.52 is our next support, or 51.22 being our 50-day moving average. And looking at this, I do expect the Nasdaq to bounce as we held that 50 days. So let's use around 18,050 as our support moving forward. We are still below the 20-day moving average. I'd feel a lot better to go long if we get around 350 on the Nasdaq. If we can get around there, then I would expect a little more upside to retrace this fall that we had on the 4th of April. I believe that was a Tuesday. So that's where we are. Let's talk about watch list for the week. This is the watch list for all. The watch list for our members, I'm going to go ahead and post that on our Discord server. Let's take a look at SLV. This is silver. Silver, nice breakout on the daily. That's exactly what we want to see. Same thing on the weekly. The question is, do we get a pullback? And if we do, can we target 23.91 as our gap to fill? And if we break above 25.14, can we play calls? Is there a lot of volume out there? So silver, SLV, we're going to keep an eye and see. If we can get below possibly 24.50, we can short to 24. But I think that we'll just wait for the break. If anything, the retest comes, that's when we go long. So SLV needs to be in our radar. Next here is CGC. Oh boy, cannabis stocks. It's been a while, right? Well, let's talk about it. Why? Legalization is on the docket or on the election cycle this year. Florida will be one to vote on marijuana legalization in recreational sense. As of right now, we have it in a medical marijuana. So, what names are going to benefit? So, CGC has been one I have traded since 2018. We do have a nice gap to fill here at 27.12 on the daily. But let's go ahead and break it down to a little more short term. Look at this. Price action has been very, very solid on a short term basis. We need to keep an eye on if we got any volume, any special volume, or maybe some big bets that we can follow meaning big flows or anything. Anything above 1159, let's see up to 20. Very similar to the Palantir, in my opinion. Kind of that growthy high beta name. This thing was in penny stock land for a little bit, is now back above $5. It's not a penny stock anymore. See if we get above 1159. Does cannabis make a comeback? If you guys remember, it was Bitcoin, betting, and blunts. Those were the three things that we talked about back in, I think it was 2020, 2021. Bitcoin has hit an all-time high. Betting companies, DraftKings, have done very well. If you guys know, I've been following here on YouTube. You know that we love our DraftKings. Blunts, the last part is the cannabis stocks. Can we get that last of the triple threat, the Bitcoin betting blunts? And looks like we might get it if we get legalization, at least on a statewide, in one of the largest markets in the union, which is the state of Florida. California's got it. New York's got it. Texas, maybe a couple years from now. But Florida getting it would be absolutely a big boom for the economy of the state of Florida and, of course, cannabis stocks. So there's CGC. I got our alert there. And let's take a look at our last one here on my list, which is Intel. One note on CPI, very tough to predict, obviously. Monday and Tuesday are going to be rather slow, in my opinion. So I just want to keep an eye on how the reaction will be after CPI, very similar to how we're going to do with NFP. So again, we got 3 trades this past week. Thank you to NFP. Amazon came in reverse for us, and I'm going to go over those trades here in a second. Back to the watch list. Intel breaking below the 200-day. Oh boy, now what? Now the question is, can we short this thing? And I am very interested in doing so. The question is, what out there is the strike? So again, I want to just keep an eye on a key level, which is right here at 37.22. That's what I'm going to look for. But again, we're below the 200-day. Breaking down below that channel, if we get to 37.22, we can see if we can get down to 32. But again, it's going to be very based on the volume out there and see if we can buy some time. All right, guys. So Intel, we're going to have to wait a little bit. I'll keep an eye on any kind of big volume spikes for the put side. But again, I want to stay short that name as we are breaking down. So there's your 3: SLV, Intel, and CGC. Let's go over the names that we did trade this past week. We're going to take a look at Freeport McMoran. Those that are in the masterclass and in the premium service, all of this has been broken down already on our watches and charts. I still like 52 for FCX. It did pull back. Remember, this is based on commodity, which is copper. So if the dollar does spike, copper prices go down, FCX is going to be affected. This is still a breakout. Nothing has changed. I still have my target of 52. If anyone is holding FCX or long, I would love to get back in if we get some nice volume there. So FCX, definitely on the watch list again, because I still think it's going to get to 52. What was the other one that we had this week? Amazon as well. Amazon, I'm kind of glad that we took it because of the fact that it locked in some gains for everybody. Okay, so I'm very happy about that. But 188.65 is our all-time high. That's pretty much the target. And I think we get there this next week. CPI might, if we get a soft CPI, I think Amazon goes higher. And then we also had XLE. We talked about how crude oil was pulling back slightly. Crude oil, as you can see, is down 2.23%, now below 85 a barrel. I am assuming tomorrow, can't be sure, obviously, but I assume tomorrow energy stocks will be affected with this oil drop if this is sustainable or sustained. We still have a breakout in XLE. Again, we took the profits from it, but again, I would love to get back into this trade because we do have a golden cross on crude oil. Until we break below that again, and we also have a golden cross on XLE, I think you stay long, and I think you kind of buy the dip here on energy. I really believe so. So unless we start, really start breaking some levels here, maybe below 82.37 a barrel or so, I think this is just a blip. I think crude oil continues to soar. So that's where we are this week. Let's make it a great one. And I will see you guys tomorrow, bright and early, to get started on a great week. Hopefully, another undefeated one. Let's keep our streak going. I'm hoping to get to 21 in a row. We're at 19 in a row options trades in terms of signals. I'm going to do my best to get those 2 for you so we can at least tie it and make new records. 2024 has been a great year so far here at Gar Capital. I will see you guys then. Cheers all.